Hello and welcome. This will be a reading for Leo for October 2023. Welcome to the table, Leo. I have pre-shuffled these cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'll be using a 10-card spread with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I'll be talking about those cards as they come out and then overlaying those with a second deck of cards, and once again I'll discuss those cards as well. I do have an oracle deck on the table, and I'll be talking about the oracle once I have drawn one card at the end of the reading. Now, it's not necessary to stay for the oracle card because the tarot cards, the reading of the tarot will be complete in itself. The flowers are from my garden and the crystals have been in their salt bath. I do hope you enjoy them. Now, the cards will also be, some will be in the upright position and some in the reverse position. I read the energy coming off the cards on the day. I'm not so concerned about the position that they're in, but for those where I'm getting a strong energy of the card needing to be read in the reverse position, that's how I'll read it. Okay, let's cut the deck and we'll start your reading. Okay, we've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, 4 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Pentacles in the upright position, Knight of Swords in the reverse position, and the Ace of Pentacles in the upright position. We've got the 5 of Cups in the upright position, Justice in the reverse position, 9 of Wands in the reverse position, King of Cups in the upright position, and the Hangman in the reverse position. I'll show you what's on the bottom of the deck. What have we got there? Oh, we've got the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, let's talk about these cards. So we've got the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. So the 10 of Cups is having a very full cup, so a rich life, abundance around you with your emotional connections. So happiness, so a fullness in your emotional connections and happiness. Now it's in the reverse aspect, so perhaps you are feeling that despite everything that you have around you, that you are feeling a little bit on your own, because the energy I'm getting off this is that you're feeling a little bit on your own, despite the fact that you have a lot of emotional connections and happiness around you. Somehow I feel that you're standing on your own. But this is normally a very joyful and happy card because the cups are full. So when you've got a full cup, it means it's overflowing with love. So even though you're surrounded with happy connections, it looks like perhaps you're looking sideways and you might like something more. So I do get the feeling that you perhaps are looking elsewhere to see what else is out there. Now we've got the 4 of Cups. So again, this is in the reverse position. So the 4 of Cups is also being a little bit disappointed in what's on offer for you. So that could be a little bit of despondency, a despair, disengaged. It's also a sense of being maybe disconnected from your family and feeling a little bit disengaged from the people that are around you. So that sometimes we pull back deliberately, but sometimes we also feel that either we're left out or we just can't muster up the strength to be very positive. Sometimes we're just not quite up to speed in, everybody else is sort of having a good time and we just don't feel either very enthusiastic or very energetic, and we just sometimes have that feeling of being a little bit disconnected. And that could be that you are busy. Now, the fact that we've got the High Priestess here and she's in reverse, perhaps you are studying and you're just a little bit worn out. Maybe you're overcommitted from studying and you've burnt yourself out, or you just aren't focused on that, your emotional connections at the moment, and you may have just retreated to go into your study. You may have moved somewhere to go in your study, so you may have relocated somewhere, and even if your family feels like they're loving normally, being removed from them sometimes can leave you a little bit disconnected. So you could be moved away to go studying or to take up some learning of some sort, or you could have gone on a retreat somewhere, but in this case you're perhaps not so engaged with your emotions at the moment and feeling a little bit I'd say just disconnected or feeling on your own, or even a little bit of disappointment somehow. Now we've got here the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving. So money coming in, money going out. This is a nice sense of balance. So not working too hard for something and not being remunerated in the right way. But this is also not giving too much. So this is a lovely balance. This is talking about having sufficient to be able to make a donation, to live within your means, to be able to share a little bit with your friends or your family without giving everything away. So there's that level of being aware of how much is coming in and how much is going out, and having that in very good balance. Now here we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. So in reverse, it's asking you not to be too hasty. I think that's the normal interpretation for the Knight of Swords in reverse is don't be too hasty, don't be rash, don't just take off and charge ahead somewhere without giving it due consideration, because the Swords always talks about thought and words. So, be careful that you watch your words. Don't be rash, don't be hasty, don't fire off a lot of words without thinking about what you're saying. Now here we've got the Ace of Pentacles. What could be nicer? An opportunity is coming your way. So this is a beautiful energy. This is perhaps a little bit unexpected. Normally it would show a hand coming from the cosmos. This is something that you are very focused on and that will bring you probably a great deal of happiness. It will allow you to flourish. I'll use the word flourish or expand, so that when you have extra money or extra opportunities, it means that you can expand or flourish. So there's this potential for growth around you once you have this Ace of Pentacles coming in. So that's very, very positive energy for you. What could be nicer? Now we have the Five of Cups. This is sometimes grief and sometimes loss. In this case, it's looking a little bit flowery. Perhaps you're being sentimental. Perhaps you are looking at somebody, sometimes when you've had a loss, for example, and you're grieving and you're feeling disconnected, you sometimes are a little bit more florid in the way that you look at what you have lost. So this can be sort of, very sweet words, a little bit of sentimentality, being a little bit over emotional about something. So it's over expressive or over emotional about something, but if it's a state of grief that you're in, then allow your emotions to flow and don't be too frightened of them, because if we hold back too much, here there's this sort of sense of perhaps holding back, but if we hold back too much, it comes back to get us later on. So if we suffer a loss or we suffer grief or disappointment, then we do need to, and here's disappointment, so you do need to allow those emotions out. You do need to express yourself. And that can be quite a lonely sort of experience where you are feeling that you need to take care of your heart. Okay, so this could be also a sense of you feeling that you need to protect your heart. Now, we've got Justice in the reverse. Something is out of balance. Okay, this is normally everything being in balance, and in this case, Justice there is telling me that something is completely out of balance. The fact that you've got the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Four of Cups in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse, something is making you feel like everything is out of balance. Let me have a little look at this card. She is waiting for things to restore into a state of balance, but it looks a little bit like she's stuck. I don't think she's able to make something move by herself. So for somehow this is a sense of being stuck and unable to sort of go forward. Frightened of destabilizing yourself because you're a little bit scared of the consequences. So that could also be the state of affairs that you find yourself in, that little bit of trepidation about moving forward in case you're a little bit fearful of the future perhaps, or a little bit fearful of destabilizing a situation. Now here we've got the Nine of Wands in reverse. So coming out of a period of feeling hemmed in and trapped, It can be quite difficult energy. This can be trying to drive forward a project that you are running out of steam. So it's almost like you're running out of energy. And if you were studying, for example, and you're coming up for your exams, it's almost like this energy of running out of steam at the end. You've only got a little bit more to push through. Do you want to continue on the path that you're on? Or have you just had enough? This is almost a sense of having had enough. I can't do it anymore. And that's the energy I'm getting from this card. It's almost like I can't do it anymore. I'm just worn out. It feels like there's too much weight and too much energy happening around me, and I feel like I can't carry the load. So maybe there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders and it feels like you're struggling. So this could be a card of responsibility, too many obligations, and too much effort expended in one direction, and it's giving you sort of a sense of being burnt out. Now here we've got the King of Cups. So this King of Cups could be an energy of someone coming in and speaking to you. This is a mature energy. So this energy could be somebody who's coming in to have a little bit of a word to you and trying to help you pick up the pieces, trying to give you some confidence. And this person is very able to express their love and give encouragement and make you feel good about yourself. So this King of Cups could be somebody coming in because you've got these cups in reverse and also this card here with the potential of grief or loss or sadness. So perhaps there's this, and this could be an over focus on your emotion, being over emotional about something. And that could be if you've got too many responsibilities or you're studying too hard or putting too much effort into something where you're very, very, very focused on something that it's almost like it feels like you're burning yourself out. Now, this King of Cups is perhaps coming to the rescue. He will tell you that he will give you a little bit more confidence and he will help you see the potential of where you're going and what you're doing, because he's very focused on the wisdom that he has had from his emotional experiences. So he will definitely be a good guide for you and he may help stabilize the situation again. Now, the Hanged Man is in reverse. Normally the Hanged Man would be in this position, and this would talk about a sacrifice that you are making. Something where you have just paused, and like the High Priestess, if they were together, for example, this would be talking about a pause. She's in reverse, so we'll put them in the way we've come out. It's almost like you've had enough. I'm getting the sense it feels like you've had enough. You feel like you can't do this anymore. You're sick of the sacrifices you've had to make, and it feels, it's like when you're studying for something, the sacrifice you have to make is for the long-term potential of the money that you might earn and the security it will bring you. And this is the opportunity that you might get if you put a lot of focus into, say, a studying or for a vocation or a university degree, something like that, where the reward is at the end. The reward can be quite big, but then the effort can sometimes feel quite overwhelming. And this is that sort of energy that I'm getting here. It feels like you would like to get down off this scaffold, so to speak, and release yourself from the situation that you're finding. Perhaps you're finding this situation a little bit binding and you're tired of the sacrifice, you're tired of always doing the same thing. And that's the energy I'm getting from this reading. Okay, let's see if we can clarify this. Because that's quite a heavy energy of sort of this emotional disconnect and perhaps being a little bit over emotional or distressed, and I'm also getting this sense of out of balance and perhaps working too hard or too much focus, too much intense focus on something that is leaving you feeling quite exhausted and almost like you're ready to give up. So let's see if we can use some more light-hearted energy. I'm using the tarot cats. I find their little expressions quite cute. So let's have a look. Because the energy on these cards here is almost a little bit mischievous and playful. So it's sometimes I'll hold the cards up so you can see them and you might see exactly what I'm talking about. I'll just give these a quick manual shuffle just so that more of the energy from my hands goes into the cards. Okay, let's cut there. And again, they'll be in the upright position and the reverse position. Temperance, okay. Waiting for some healing. So it looks like you need some healing. 4 of Wands in the upright position. 9 of Pentacles in the reverse position. 2 of Cups in the upright position. Ace of Cups in the upright position. Okay. Knave of Wands. So this is the Page of Wands in the upright position. 4 of Pentacles in the upright position. 7 of Cups in the upright position. 7 of Swords in the upright position. And the 3 of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, so let's have a look what's on the bottom of the deck. What have we got there? The Queen of Cups. Okay, quite an emotional card. That is somebody who is normally quite loving and generous and kind. This could be a mother figure. This is sort of more mature, so having control over your emotions. So this could be a loving, kind, generous mother, somebody who is expressing their love totally for you. This is quite transformative when somebody comes and says, okay, if you're feeling overwhelmed, come here, I'll look after you for a little while. And being generous and kind and loving, that sometimes can restore your confidence again and put you back in a state of equilibrium. Now we've got Temperance here. So Temperance is in reverse. So Temperance again is talking about this flow of energy, this healing that's coming in, finding the balance, and it's showing me here that it's out of balance. So there's, I think this, and you could be affected by, I'm doing this reading just prior to October, so maybe you've been very affected by the moon, the very, very, very powerful full moon at the end of September as we move into October. So you could be very much affected by the energy of the full moon, and that is quite powerful, and it's almost like your emotions are breaking loose and you can't contain them, and that's sort of the energy here. So you need a little bit of healing, but sometimes also it's good if we just go with the flow and allow, this is going with the flow, allowing those emotions, any emotions that are welling up, and they could be childhood experiences. If you're sort of growing up, it's quite difficult sometimes to transition from childhood into being an adult, and then sometimes our emotions get the better of us because we didn't realize how much responsibility we had to carry, and in that situation then our emotions tend to overwhelm us for a little while. But maybe it's good that you allow the emotions, because here it's giving me the indication that the emotions need to be allowed to overflow for a little while. And also at the end, you've got the Ace of Cups. So this is happiness again. So if you allow your tears to come out, sometimes it's just a good release. So I'm getting a sense of needing to allow the tears to flow, perhaps. Maybe just emotionally expressing yourself freely, not being so guarded about how you are feeling, just being a little bit more open. Just let those emotions out. If you're feeling distressed or lonely or sad, then just express that, because at the end here, on top of the Ace of Pentacles, you've also got the Ace of Cups. So you've got 2 aces at the end of the reading. So it's telling me that this balance will be restored throughout October. So don't despair too much. And you've got the Queen of Cups here. So this is quite good. So if you have a moment here at the beginning of October or the end of September where you're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, just go with it, because it's better not to resist too much. Here you'll soon be walking through a new portal, so you'll be walking into a new space. A 4 on top of a 4. This is again where you find a little bit more of your stability, because this one's in the reverse. So here the 4 of Cups are in reverse. So feeling a little bit, a bit disabled. What will I say? A little bit out of sorts here with your emotions, but here we've got stability and feeling a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more passion. This can also be a little bit of a celebration, but it can also talk about walking through a portal. So this can represent a doorway, so in a new way of being. Now you may be moving house or moving home, you may be getting married, any one of those things, but this is sort of a change, and this can be a partnership. So, you could be going and partner with somebody else. So maybe, as in the case of a marriage, partnering up with somebody, and that can be quite overwhelming sometimes. The fears, your emotional fears, can sometimes get the better of you. Here we've got the Six of Pentacles, finding this lovely balance between giving and taking, and here is this Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So I think you've got some concerns about giving up your financial independence and security, because that card's here too. So that could be perhaps you've purchased a home and the mortgage can seem quite overwhelming. Even moving in with somebody else can be quite overwhelming, because suddenly there's a lot more expenses going out, particularly if it's the first time you've left home. But this is a little bit of concern about giving up your independence. So, this is self-respect and dignity, so you don't need to give those things up. But sometimes this Nine of Pentacles, this money that you've earned for yourself, if you're suddenly sharing that money, it can have a bit of a funny feeling if you're not used to that feeling of sharing. So this is kind of, and here this card is more about sharing. So it definitely talks about sharing. So maybe you feel a little bit anxious about your initial state of sharing. When people get married, they tend to share a bank account and sharing a mortgage and sharing expenses. So this could be some concern about sharing expenses. Now we've got the Two of Cups, but it does look very much like you're in love. You're very focused on the person that you're with. So it's very hard, because love contains many aspects once it becomes more mature. The initial love is young and sweet and soft and caring, and none of these responsibilities go with it. Mortgages and paying rent and having children and paying for the grocery shopping and suddenly paying for your own car and your own expenses. That can be quite overwhelming, and so it's good if you're in love, because it makes it easier to make that commitment to share. But nonetheless, it can still be quite a little bit overwhelming in the beginning if you first get married or first move into a home together. So that sharing part of it can be a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it. But here we've got the Ace of Cups, so this is real happiness. Okay, this could be also being granted a mortgage, for example, or suddenly getting a big bonus at work. It can be just, and it could be a gift from, say, parents, if you've got parents who are able to afford to give you a gift. So that's money coming in, or some values. This could be a payment, money that you're owed, or anything like that, an endowment of some sort. But this is going to make you very happy. So this could be, in which case this could be a legal situation here. This pardon me, the Knight of Swords could be the bank saying, yes, you've got your mortgage or you've got your loan and here it is. So, this card can represent different things. So, if you're getting married or you're moving out of home and you're looking for money and a way of maintaining this love and the home, then it does look like you're going to get some extra money and it's going to leave you feeling very happy. Now, we've got this Page of Wands. This is a little bit of bravado. This is interesting because it's on top of this Five of Cups. So with the Five of Cups here and this Knave of Wands, I'm feeling that, you're saying, I'm okay, everybody, I'm okay, don't worry, I'm okay. I think there's a little bit of bravado there, when people say, how are you feeling? And you go, yeah, I'm fine. Whereas in the background, perhaps you're not quite fine, but there's this bravado. So you could also be following a new project. I'll let you see his face because, as you can see, this is a card more that's reflecting bravado. And yes, I'm okay. When people ask you, how are you, and you just go, yeah, I'm fine. And you're not always fine. So I'm just going to put that out there. He can be following his heart and his passion and starting off something, but I'm getting the sense of bravado today. So here we've got this, on top of this Justice card. Now, we've got Justice in reverse, so as I said, a feeling like a lack of stability, and on top of that is this Four of Pentacles. So, you know, if you try and hang on too tight to perhaps your independent finances, if you suddenly are in a partnership, then you won't be feeling very happy either, because that could give you this sense of insecurity that you know, your partner is not going to do the right thing by you. But in a loving situation, you need to share that money, and you need to be able to let it go so that you can have the things that you want, that give you the security that you want to live the lifestyle that you want. Now, the Four of Pentacles is about home and security and values. So perhaps you're a little bit concerned about how you might pay off a mortgage, or how you're going to pay the rent, or how you're going to pay the bills. But you need to be confident that the money will come in and go out, because you do have the Six of Pentacles. So it is telling me that you don't need to be necessarily so anxious here about your financial stability, because I think you'll have enough money coming in and going out to be able to pay your bills. Okay, now we've got this Seven of Cups. This is wishful thinking, daydreaming, all of those wonderful things. So your responsibility, this is on top of sort of having almost too many responsibilities and being tired and fatigued and getting burnout. And this Seven of Cups is perhaps wishing that things could be a little bit easier and not so complicated. And this could be a little bit of, I'm going to use the word, don't get offended, I'm going to use the word being naive. Sometimes we're in a hurry to grow up, we're in a hurry to take on all the responsibilities, and then suddenly we get a little bit overwhelmed, and then we're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. You get this sort of sense of panic, and I think it happens to everybody. And then you start dreaming about all the other things you might have done. Say, for example, if you've just bought a home, then you know or paying rent. If you've just left home and you're paying rent, and you think, oh, all the things now I can't do, and you start dreaming about the things that you might have liked to do, other than perhaps moving out of home or buying a house. Okay, we've got the Seven of Swords, and actually normally this card would be about trickery and you know, schemes and plots and somebody taking more than their fair share. But this time I'm feeling that don't betray yourself. You know, don't betray yourself with your thoughts. Don't overthink things, because you'll create a burden that isn't real. So there's that sense of, I'm not feeling trickery or betrayal or scams or hurt or any of those things. I feel this is more a mental energy of you overthinking something and analysing something to death, so that when you you're looking at all the possibilities of things that might happen, and that can make you fearful. So don't overthink things too much. Don't clutch at the sort of worries that of all the things that can go wrong in your life, because it doesn't always work out that way. So I'm suggesting that you just not be too anxious about something. And here this King of Cups might help you put things in perspective. Now, you've got this Hanged Man in reverse. So the Hanged Man is probably going to come down off his scaffold here soon, and he wants to travel. So this is almost the same. As you can see, the energy would be of the Hanged Man and the Three of Wands. So coming down off that scaffold. So once you stop this, whatever the sacrifice is that you've been doing, when you step down from that, there's this card of expansion. So it looks like travel is on the horizon for some sort. You may be going on a honeymoon, and you could just be expanding your horizons. Perhaps you managed to finish your education, and suddenly there's a new opportunity, and you are able to look beyond your current circumstances, because as you can see, he's turned his back. So that is saying that you're able to turn your back on this situation, and you are able to look forward more positively. So finding some more passion and some enthusiasm. So this is more optimism. This is a card of optimism and expansion and growth. So this is also travel. So it can be travel as you come out of this period of sacrifice and holding back and being fearful and overwhelmed. You get this wonderful Ace of Cups and this Ace of Pentacles, and then you can expand into a whole new world. So that's wonderful energy. So once that opens up for you, you have a much more positive outlook. Okay, so Leo, I'm going to have a look at your tarot, your oracle card. That's about it for the tarot reading. If you want to leave now, you're most welcome to do so. But for those of you who would like to stay and have an oracle card, it won't take me long. If I could tidy up the messy shuffle, I will split the deck. Actually, I'll split it twice. Unity. Okay, so I'm getting very much here. This is a card of unity. So this Four of Wands is a card of unity. And this Two of Cups is a card of unity. So this is where you connect and stay strong with each other. So this is a strong bond, as you can see. In this situation, it's showing a group of people, but it can also be a strong bond. So I'm imagining that this is a bond, a connection, being certain. Again, there's this unity here with your family connections, being certain of your connections and being strong in that. Okay, so this is a wonderful energy. So at the end of the month or over in the month, you become aware that there's this unity. People are standing by you and holding you up, and you are stronger together than you are on your own. So there it is, Leo. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.